The Himalayas have always kept their secrets. Their peaks, eternal and unyielding, have watched civilizations rise and fall, their voices carried away like whispers on the wind. For centuries, legends have spoken of a treasure, not of gold nor jewels, but of something far greater, something hidden in truth itself. Many dismiss the stories as mere myths, the ramblings of dreamers and madmen. Others sought the treasure, lured by the promise of enlightenment or power. None returned. The mountains swallowed them whole, their fates lost in the endless snow. Few believe the legends. Fewer dare to seek them. But for one broken man, stripped of everything, the mountains would sing their loudest because they had been waiting for him. Arjun's world had already collapsed long before he stepped into the cold embrace of the Himalayas. Debt, loss, desperation, the weight of his past pressed down like an avalanche, leaving him with nothing but a crumpled letter, the last words of a love now gone. In the dim glow of a Kathmandu cafe, rain drummed against the glass, neon reflections blurring like fading memories. He had no reason to go on, no purpose left to serve, until he met Dorje. The old Sherpa, his face carved by time and storms, saw through Arjun's silence. "The mountain doesn't want your gold," he murmured over steaming tea. "It wants your truth." But Arjun wasn't listening. Not yet. He needed a way forward, a reason to keep moving. And so, with trembling hands, he sold the last piece of his past, his wife's wedding bracelet. The silver caught the candlelight as it left his grasp, and for a fleeting moment, it was as if she were still there whispering, begging him to turn back. But Arjun was past turning back. The mountain did not welcome them. It tested them, stripping away their resolve layer by layer. The cold gnawed at their bones. The winds howled warnings they refused to heed. With each step, Arjun felt the weight of his choices pressing down, heavier than the packs on their backs. A bridge of frayed ropes loomed before them, swaying dangerously over an abyss of ice and shadow. Every step was a gamble, every breath a prayer, and yet they pushed forward, driven by something stronger than fear, by the whispers of a destiny they did not yet understand. Then, in the heart of the storm, they found it, a cave carved by time, its walls etched with symbols older than memory. Torchlight flickered over ancient carvings, the stone itself seeming to breathe. Among the inscriptions, a single warning stood out. Greed turns gold to ash. But greed had already come for them. Liang, a mercenary driven by hunger for power, struck without mercy. The knife glinted. The struggle was brief, and then Dorje. Dorje was falling, his body swallowed by the abyss. His final words, carried away by the wind, sent a chill through Arjun's soul. The treasure is a mirror, and then silence. The vault was no ordinary tomb. It was something more, a test, a choice. As Arjun stepped into the chamber, his breath caught. Before him, mountains of gold gleamed, wealth beyond measure spilling across the cavern floor. Skeletal hands, frozen in time, clutched at the treasure, their owners long since claimed by greed. This was not a prize. It was a graveyard. And yet, something else called to him. A simple, weathered journal, its pages brittle with age. He reached out, his fingers brushing against the worn leather, and as he opened it, his past and future collided. His wife's ancestor had been here before. The inked words, written centuries ago, carried a truth he could not ignore. Only the empty-handed can carry the truth. The mountain did not want wealth. It did not care for gold or power. It had been waiting for something else entirely, understanding, acceptance. As Arjun let the coin slip from his grasp, the chamber trembled, the illusion shattered, and in its place, the true treasure emerged. Her prayer beads, untouched by time, resting on a simple wooden shrine. The past had found its way back to him, not in gold, but in grace. And then, the voice of the mountain echoed through the cavern. "You've passed." Arjun returned from the Himalayas with empty pockets, but a heart heavier with meaning. In a grand museum in Kathmandu, the journal found its place, its brittle pages revealing secrets long buried beneath ice and time. Scholars and seekers gathered in reverence, their voices hushed with awe. Yet, as they marveled at the inked wisdom of those who came before, Arjun understood. The true treasure of the mountain was not meant to be caged behind glass or studied under artificial light. It was meant to be lived by the river, where the setting sun bled into the sky in hues of fire and gold. He sat in quiet reflection. The water moved unhurriedly, whispering against smooth stones, carrying away all that did not belong. In his hands, the prayer beads felt worn yet familiar, each smooth curve a reminder of what he had lost and what he had found. He turned them slowly, deliberately, the way his wife once had, the way Dorje had done before their final climb. The echoes of those who had walked this path before him lingered in the wind, soft but certain. Dorje's final words finally made sense. The mountain had not offered him wealth or answers. It had given him a choice, gold or grace. For the first time in years, Arjun smiled. For the first time in years, he felt rich. But the mountain was not done testing. In the deep snow, where footprints faded fast, a shadow moved. Liang, battered but unbroken, clawed his way through ice and death. His fingers brushed against something cold. Frozen flesh, Dorje's lifeless hand, clutching something small and glinting in the pale moonlight. A single gold coin. And as Liang's lips curled into a knowing smile, the wind howled once more as if the mountain was laughing.